Hello my dear students, I am Deepak Vanjani. Today we will study about electrostatics of conductors. It means in static situation, what are the effects on conductors that we have to see. Inside a conductor, electrostatic field is zero. In static situation, inside a conductor, electric field is always zero. But in dynamic condition, electric field inside the conductor is not zero. What I am saying? Electric field inside the conductor is zero in static situation. In dynamic condition, electric field inside the conductor will not be zero. But about that we will study in chapter number 3. Right now we will focus on static situation. In the static situation, when there is no current inside or on the surface of a conductor, the electric field is zero everywhere inside the conductor. It means whether we are taking neutral or charged conductor, electric field inside the conductor will be zero. For example, here if we take any conductor of arbitrary shape and if it is charged, then excess amount of charge lies only on the surface of conductor and inside the conductor there isn't any charge. Therefore, net charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is zero. Therefore, electric flux associated with the Gaussian surface is zero. Therefore, we can say that electric field inside the conductor is zero. This thing already we have studied in chapter number 1. Now, if we place solid conductor in external electric field, then what will happen? Free charge carriers, that are free electrons, will experience force in the direction opposite to electric field. So here the electrons will move from this end of the conductor to this end in the direction opposite to electric field. It means some electric field is induced in this direction from positive to negative. As more and more charges are accumulated on the surface of the conductor, then this value of induced electric field goes on increasing. At one moment, induced electric field will be equal to external electric field. When induced electric field is equal to external electric field, at that time electric field inside the conductor will become zero. But this process is very fast process. The moment we apply external electric field on the solid conductor, immediately this electric field is induced inside the conductor, and within a fraction of time, that is within a small interval of time, this induced electric field will become equal to external electric field and electric field inside the conductor becomes zero. So in static situation, whether the electric field is applied or not, whether the conductor is charged or not, whether the conductor is neutral, then also electric field inside the conductor is zero. So we can say that inside a conductor electric field is always zero. As long as electric field is not zero, the free charge carriers would experience force and drift. It means free electrons will experience force in the direction opposite to electric field, and more charges are accumulated on the surface of conductor. Therefore, electric field is induced inside the conductor, but that induced electric field will become same as applied electric field at one moment, and after that no electron will move from one side of the conductor to another side. It means in the direction opposite to electric field. So that condition is called static situation. After that no charge will be in motion. The free charges have so distributed themselves that the electric field is zero everywhere inside. Therefore, electric field inside the conductor will become zero. So I can say electric field inside the conductor is always zero. Now, at the surface of a conductor, charged conductor, electrostatic field must be normal to the surface at every point. Here already we have studied in chapter number 1 that electric field is always normal to the surface. Electric field is always normal to the surface. But if we consider the method of contradiction, suppose electric field is not perpendicular to the surface. Suppose electric field is in this direction. Instead of this, electric field is, let me take in this direction. Then we can resolve this electric field into two components. This is tangential component along the surface and this is normal component. So due to this tangential component, the charge carriers will experience force and the charge carriers will start moving. If charges are in motion, then we can't consider it as static condition. Therefore, we can say that electric field is always perpendicular to the surface. If electric field is perpendicular to the surface, then there won't be any tangential component, because when electric field is perpendicular, then theta will be 90 degree and cos 90, that is 0. So there won't be any tangential component and charges will be at rest. It means we can say the charge, this is the static condition. In static condition, electric field is always perpendicular to the surface. Therefore, in the static situation, E vector should have no tangential component, and here we can say that at the surface of a charged conductor, electrostatic field must be normal to the surface at every point. Now, the interior of a conductor can have no excess charge in the static situation. In the static situation, all the excess charge reside on the surface of a conductor and there isn't any charge inside the conductor. Here you can see whenever any conductor is charged, at the time this excess amount of charge always lies on the surface of a conductor. Because if we consider this type of Gaussian surface, then inside the Gaussian surface, flux, electric flux, that is 0. Because there are plenty of neutral atoms inside the conductor and excess charge always lies on the surface of a conductor. Therefore, charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is 0, electric flux associated with the Gaussian surface is 0. So, there isn't any charge inside the Gaussian surface. Net charge. There can be pair of positive and negative charge, but net charge inside the conductor is 0. Always excess charge lies only on the surface of a conductor. Therefore, we can say a neutral conductor has equal amount of positive and negative charge in every small volume or surface. If we consider any small element, then in this small element there is equal amount of positive and negative charge. If we consider another small element, then in this small element also there is equal amount of positive and negative charge. And when the conductor is charged, the excess charge can reside only on the surface in the static situation. Next, electrostatic potential is constant throughout the volume of the conductor and has the same value as inside on its surface. Electric field inside the conductor is 0. Already we have studied electric field inside the conductor is 0. It means here if we consider any conductor, whether this conductor, for any conductor, electric field inside the conductor is 0. It means no work is done in moving charge from one place to another inside the conductor or on the surface of conductor. If no work is done in moving a small test charge within the conductor or on its surface, then we know the formula dV is equal to minus E vector dot dr vector. And if electric field is 0, then we can say that dV is equal to 0. It means change in potential is 0. If change in potential is 0, it means potential must be constant. Therefore, we can say that electrostatic potential is constant throughout the volume of the conductor, and has the same value on its surface. Next, electric field at the surface of a charged conductor. Now we have to find electric field at the surface of a charged conductor. Here I have considered one conductor of any arbitrary shape, and here this conductor is charged. If we consider small pill box, that is short cylinder like this, and here you can see some charge is enclosed by this cylinder. There is some charge on the surface of the conductor, and this cylinder encloses this much amount of charge. Now electric field inside the conductor is 0. It means here for this half of the pill box, electric field is 0. Half of the pill box is outside the conductor and half of the pill box is inside the conductor. But inside the conductor electric field, that is 0. And here for this small area, the surface charge density, that is sigma, and electric field due to positive charge is in outward direction, that is away from charge. And for this small cross section area vector, small area element, that is ds, and area vector, that is ds vector. By Gauss's law, we can write electric flux phi is equal to electric field into area, because electric field and area element both are in the same direction. Therefore E vector dot ds vector, if we remove dot, then eds cos 0, that is 1. So directly we can write eds. This is nothing but electric flux, and electric flux associated with this closed surface is nothing but charge enclosed upon epsilon naught. What amount of charge is enclosed? Charge enclosed, we know that here this charge is distributed on the surface. Therefore sigma is equal to charge upon area, that is ds. So q is equal to sigma ds. So charge enclosed is equal to sigma ds upon epsilon naught. ds will get cancelled. Then we can say electric field at the surface of a charged conductor, that is sigma upon epsilon naught for this particular area element, sigma upon epsilon naught. So electric field, that is E is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught for surface charge density sigma. If we want to write this electric field in vector form, then so E vector is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught into n cap, where n cap, that is unit vector, that is along normal direction, that is normal unit vector. Here we have taken positive charge, therefore electric field is away from the charge. If we consider negative charge, then instead of n cap we have to consider minus n cap. So electric field due to negative charge can be written as minus sigma upon epsilon naught into n cap. But in magnitude we can say that electric field on the surface of a conductor is sigma upon epsilon naught. And this formula already we have derived in third application of Gauss's law. Next an important point, that is electrostatic shielding. Consider a conductor with cavity. First of all, consider a conductor, and this is charged conductor. Charge on the surface of conductor is Q, but we know that electric field inside the conductor is 0. So electric field inside the conductor is 0. Now here if we place this conductor in external electric field, then also electric field inside the conductor will remain 0. Now consider a conductor with cavity with no charges inside the cavity. Here I have considered this is the solid conductor. This part is indicating solid part of the conductor, and here I have taken this hollow part, that is called cavity. This is the empty surface, that is called cavity. Excess amount of charge lies on the surface of the conductor, that is Q, and net amount of charge inside the conductor is 0. And here I have taken no charge inside the cavity. It means there isn't any charge inside the cavity. Then if I consider here Gaussian surface like this, for this Gaussian surface, net charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is 0. Therefore electric field inside the conductor is 0. Here if I consider this Gaussian surface, when there isn't any charge inside the cavity, then net charge enclosed by this surface is also 0. Therefore we can say that electric field inside the conductor is 0. Now Here, instead of this, if I take spherical conductor and if I consider cavity like this, then also electric field inside the conductor is 0 and electric field inside the cavity is 0. It means it does not depend on shape of the conductor. Whatever is the shape of conductor, electric field inside the conductor remain 0. And if there isn't any charge inside the cavity, then electric field inside the cavity will be 0. Here I am taking another solid conductor having different shape. Then you can see now this conductor is placed in external electric field. If conductor is placed in external electric field, then also electric field inside the conductor is 0. Here electric field is 0. If we consider any other Gaussian surface, this is the cavity and there isn't any charge inside the cavity. Therefore, no net charge is there inside the cavity. Therefore, electric field inside the conductor and cavity is 0. Whether the conductor is placed in external electric field or not, whatever is the shape of conductor, electric field inside the cavity is 0 when there isn't any charge inside the cavity. Here, electric field lines are always perpendicular to the surface. These electric field lines are always perpendicular to the surface. That is why I have shown different shape. You can see this is the different shape. On curved shape, this electric field line should be perpendicular to the surface. At each and every point on the surface, electric field is perpendicular. Whatever be the charge and field configuration outside, it means if any conductor is charged and if we have applied external electric field, then also any cavity in a conductor remains shielded. Shielded means there is some protecting layer which protect it from outside electric influence. The electric field inside the cavity is always 0. If excess amount of charge is given to conductor, then that charge lies only on the surface of conductor. Electric field inside the conductor is 0. Therefore, electric field inside the cavity is also 0. This is known as electrostatic shielding. For example, during heavy rain, if you are inside your car, then like you are inside the cavity. Suppose this is the outer layer of the car and you are inside the car. It means you are inside the cavity. During lightning, if there is a heavy lightning, if there is a thunderstorm, at that time, due to external electric field, the free charge carriers, that is electrons, will move in the direction opposite to electric field. And here, after losing electrons, this will become positively charged. But electric field inside the conductor, it means electric field inside the cavity will be 0. It means there won't be any effect inside the car. Charges will move only on the surface of car. It means you are safe inside the car. So you should remain inside the car during heavy rain. If you dare to touch that outer layer of the car, then you will experience fatal shock. So better to remain inside the car. This is the example of electrostatic shielding. Here I have considered one cavity inside the spherical conductor. Now here if we place any charge inside the cavity, suppose I have placed plus Q charge, then due to this plus Q charge, some attractive force is experienced by the negative charges and negative charge is induced on the surface of cavity. So this is plus Q, this is minus Q. But this negative charge is lost by neutral atoms of the conductor. By losing electrons, they are positively charged. But no excess amount of charge can reside on, no excess amount of charge can remain inside the conductor. it lies only on the surface of conductor. So minus q, charge is attracted towards this plus q and it lies on the surface of this cavity, and remaining plus q will move and it will reside only on the surface of conductor. Now if you consider Gaussian surface like this, then net charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is plus q minus q, that is 0. Therefore we can say that electric field inside the conductor is 0. If we consider any Gaussian surface very close to this cavity, then net charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is 0, plus q minus q, that is 0. Therefore electric flux associated with this Gaussian surface is 0. Therefore we can say that electric field inside the conductor always remains 0, whether there is a charge inside the cavity or not. Electric field inside the conductor is always 0 in static situation. Now if we consider two spherical conductors like this, this conductor is having radius A and this conductor is having radius B. Both are connected by conducting wire. When two conductors are connected by conducting wire, at that time potential on both the conductors will become same. VA is equal to VB. Suppose charge on this conductor having radius A is QA and charge on this conductor having radius B is QB. So if potential is same, then we know that the excess amount of charge lies only on the surface of conductor and it will act as a point charge, and electrostatic potential due to point charge is V is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught QA by A, that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught QB upon B. One upon 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught will get cancelled. Therefore we can write QA upon A is equal to QB upon B. Now here charge is distributed on the surface, so instead of QA we can write Q is equal to sigma is equal to Q by A, Q by area. Therefore charge is equal to surface charge density into area. So QA is equal to surface charge density sigma A into area of the spherical conductor, that is 4 pi radius square A square upon A is equal to sigma B into 4 pi B square upon B. 4 pi will get cancelled, A will get cancelled, B will get cancelled. Therefore we can say sigma A into A is equal to sigma B into B. It means product of surface charge density and radius, that is constant. Sigma into radius is equal to constant. Therefore we can write sigma is inversely proportional to R. As radius, as R increases, surface charge density decreases. As R decreases, surface charge density increases. Now from this relation sigma A into A is equal to sigma B into B, this relation we can write sigma A upon sigma B is equal to sigma A upon sigma B is equal to B by A. If we divide numerator and denominator by epsilon naught, then sigma a upon epsilon naught upon sigma b upon epsilon naught is equal to b by a. Epsilon epsilon will get cancelled. Then we can write sigma a upon sigma b is equal to b by a. But sigma upon epsilon, that is called electric field. So electric field EA upon EB is equal to b by a. B is less than a, but B is less than a. Radius B is less than radius A. Therefore EA is less than EB. It means electric field on this surface is less than electric field due to the small spherical conductor. It means on the small spherical conductor electric field is more. So EA by EB is equal to B by A. This is the important condition. Sigma is inversely proportional to R. It means here if we consider conductor like this, and here you can see, if I consider, suppose this is the charged conductor, then here for this curve radius will be large. Therefore here let me take sigma, this is sigma 1, and here on this curved part radius will be less, and here I am taking surface charge density sigma 2. For this curved part radius will be less, and for this curved part radius is large, but we know that sigma is inversely proportional to R. As radius of curvature increases, surface charge density decreases. Therefore from this we can write sigma 2 is greater than sigma 1. So surface charge density for this curved part will be more than surface charge density on this curved part. Therefore if we consider any sharp edges like this, and if it is electrically charged, then on this flat part charge will be less, and on this sharp edge charge will be more, because here surface charge density is more, and here due to large radius of curvature surface charge density is less, therefore charge is less. Surface charge density is large for sharp or pointed edges of the conductor, because surface charge density is inversely proportional to R. I hope the concept of electrostatic conductor is now clear to you. Try to solve example 2.7. This is theoretical example that is based on the concept of electrostatic conductors. Thank you.